Greeting interwebs, it's Jackie K, and welcome for another edition of Game and Chill. Hopefully you don't mind me taking the post-commentated approach again this month. We'll get into it, but I've been busy. I know I say a lot, but it's true every time I say it. It's almost like game design and everything adjacent to it is a lot of work or something. But yeah, I've been kind of procrastinating this to the very last minute to do, because I really wanted to make things work out. I really wanted to have something special going on for the month of October, but time just hasn't lined up that way, especially with some of the more major projects outside YouTube I've taken on. We'll be taking on a loosely scripted note because having notes of everything I want to do for a month before I started commentating worked so well for me last time. I figured that was something worth repeating. So let's dive right into it. Let's get the YouTube formalities out of the way. I know, it feels like I'm just starting to get into some sort of routine with when I want to upload, but typically October is a special month, and on top of that, I'm really getting so close to finishing up a major project that I'm willing to put YouTube on the back burner a bit more than usual just to finish it up. Two of the biggest changes that will be happening is a change in how frequent I upload Legends ZA shorts and videos of Pokemon Emerald Rogue. With the shorts, I'm just gonna put them on the back burner for the rest of the month. I've been putting a lot of time into Legends ZA, striking while the iron is hot, and we literally know nothing about it. But that's come at the cost of not being able to explore other avenues with editorials. I can't exactly promise I'll actually explore those other avenues with editorials this month, but that's a good enough excuse as any to put them on the sideline. All I can really promise is that I did recently finish up a Golden Sun related short, kind of a similar style to Legends ZA. That will go up sometime this month. And as much as I would love to do more of those sorts of shorts, I don't want to promise anything until I actually make them. Pokemon Emerald Rogue, I was initially just gonna take a complete break from for the rest of the month, but considering that a couple of them are already done, I decided to take more of a middle ground, where they'll be going up every other week still for the first half of the month, and the back half of the month I'm just gonna take a break and resume those uploads in November. I'm hoping that I can use that time that I would normally spend working on Pokemon Emerald Rogue in terms of editing and adding the post-commentative voiceovers. I'm hoping I can use that time to make some special videos in a similar style to what I did last month with Overseer October. But in the worst case scenario, that will just give me more time to finish up a non-video related project that I'm shooting to have done by the end of the year, but I would really love to have it done by the end of this month. That's a huge ask, and so I don't want to promise anything yet, but I will follow up if I do decide that goal is, well, doable. Again, I really wanted to continue Overseer October into this month. For those of you who recently joined, last year I did a little celebration throughout October where I uploaded nothing but videos and shorts related to my OC/dream game of Overseer of the Elements. Last year was mostly focused on mechanics, so I would love to go more into the characters themselves that would make up the world. But between that and finishing up the mod that I've been working on for the past 2 years, maybe the past 3 or 4 years if we want to count version 1 of Golden Sun Dungeon into that equation. Point being, I think between the two, the latter, I should put a little more priority on the latter. Especially if I can get it done this month. If I can finish Dungeon early enough though, I would love to take the back half of October to actually do some sort of video or short series to celebrate more of the OC world that 90% just lies in my head dormant until I actually build up my game design skills enough to bring the world to fruition. But while I'm talking about it, let's go more into Dungeon. Within the past couple months, I've just about finished a second playtesting session for the veteran mode of the game, and I'm currently working on going through a playtest session of the bosses in the casual version of the game. Casual being a version of the mod that's more based on original Golden Sun difficulty, while Veteran mode is more based on the difficulty from the initial version 1 release of Golden Sun Donjin. If you're just hopping in and don't know what that's about, I guess either check out the Discord or check out the GitHub for Golden Sun Donjin. For sake of time, I'm going to assume that you already know what Donjin is. Besides that, there's just touch up on the dialogue that I've adjusted ever so slightly. And just give myself one more pass for the whole project just to make sure I'm not forgetting about anything significant. So yeah, when I say things are close, I say things are close. And that's a statement that I tend not to take lightly. I would say that editing videos to help promote the project are the biggest holdup for Donjin still, but just yesterday, at least when I'm recording this, I got done with the first initial draft for Golden Sun Donjin Second Mix, aka version 2.0. Now granted, I'm not sure if I'm done editing the trailer yet because I'm a little conflicted between going with voiceover to explain the mod or captions like I did with the trailer for version 1. But I'm sure that won't take me more than a month to decide. That's all I got to talk about with Donjin, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't have anything else to talk about until the project's actually out there. And I was going to dedicate the rest of this video to talking about the game development, messing around with Gatta that I've been doing outside of modding, but I didn't get around to making notes for that. It's one of those things that I wasn't really putting a lot of priority into until I finished Donjin, which is kind of the biggest reason I want to just get Donjin done and out there. I'm not opposed to making additional updates after I release it, but I know I'm not really going to be able to dedicate the time I want into learning Gatta and making the games that I wish to make until I finish Donjin. It's just too close to being done for me to just abandon and go fully into game dev proper. Abandon might be too strong of a word, but the whole reason I got into modding was because I did not have the confidence to develop games on my own. So as I've gotten more into Gatta and actually gained some confidence with the engine, it's hard to stay as motivated to keep on working on that when I could be dedicating that time to actually learning and getting closer to making my actual dream games. While there's certainly still perks to modding, there's definitely limitations that I wouldn't have to worry about if I properly learned how to develop in a game engine, such as actually making stuff besides Golden Sun when using a non-Golden Sun engine. And I wouldn't want my universe of Overseer of the Elements to be limited to a Golden Sun mod anyway. As for the work I'm actually doing in Gatta, there was a period of time within the past month that I was making a good amount of progress within it, but as I've realized more and more how close I am to being done with Donjin, I've kind of put it more and more on the back burner until I finish this other project, for all the reasons I've already explained. Still, I'm proud of the progress I have made of it. I just don't know if I'm ready to call it a real game yet. There is a character, she moves around, she jumps, she has some other abilities, and there are levels you navigate through to reach a goal. But there still just seems to be something missing that keeps me from calling it a game proper yet. It's something I'm proud of, but I'm not sure if game is the right term for it. If I'm feeling ambitious enough, I'll set it up so you can all play it right on a browser or something and see for yourself. Plus, I'll dedicate the rest of this video to footage of a quote-unquote full playthrough of it. It uses music from the YouTube audio library, so it shouldn't cause any problems with copyright on YouTube. So, I call Fire Brand Dash. It's a 2D platformer who hopefully I'll actually get to talk about later on this month. Like a lot of platformers, you move her around and press a button to jump. If you press the dash button while you're in the air, she does a flaming air dash that can be used to destroy bushes. And currently that's all it does, but that's a step beyond your standard platformer tutorial, which a lot of the framework of this quote-unquote game is based on so far. She also has a stomp where You can either activate it by pressing the dash button in the middle of an air dash, or you can use a dedicated stomp button. And that as well burns bushes. You kind of see the problem here? I have some abilities to make her stand out from a standard platformer to some degree, but I don't really have anything in the game that you can do with those skills yet. Part of that is intentional because I don't want to go too crazy in the depth of this project. I'm trying to keep the scope very small, so I can focus on actually learning new things with Got It instead of actually making a full-fledged game. But I feel like I should be able to do something special with what I've already have built. There's platforms, there's a character, and there's bushes. There's gotta be some sort of engaging gameplay loop I can create with those things. Plus, I do have ideas of how I could expand the air dash and the stomp to be more viable or have more ways that I can interact with the world besides burning bushes. I'm just conflicted of if I actually want to implement those things or just focus on learning the in and outs of Got It and save that time and energy into actually making mock-up RPGs, as that would be closer to the type of game I eventually want to make for real. But I told myself that I wasn't going to expand the scope of this anymore until I finished up Dawn of Jin, at the very least. I wish I could go on, but my commentating voice is really not practiced. I feel like I have to stop every 5 minutes or so just to catch my breath, and this 12-minute segment definitely took more than 12 minutes to record. I don't even want to admit how long it actually took. So I'm going to just wrap things up here. I do still want to do a Legends Arceus segment like I did last month, but I'm tempted to just do that as a stream to make things easier on myself. We'll see how I feel once I get this uploaded. So thank you all for tuning in for this edition of Game and Chill. One way or another, I feel like October's going to be an exciting month. I don't know what I'm going to eventually have to show by the end of the month, but there's definitely a lot brewing, a lot of potential for something really cool to happen. I really hope everything pans out. Until then, take care.